record. Okay, so tonight our topic is Instagram. And I know that I put in the description of the call, make sure if possible to have your phone available and access this on a computer or laptop or tablet or whatever. If you don't have your phone, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to grab it. If you absolutely can't because you're watching this on your phone, no worries. We'll kind of just listen, I guess, as I walk you guys through some stuff. All right, so before we begin Instagram training, and I know that there was just a national call on this, and so this will kind of there will be some similar tips, but you're also going to learn some stuff that wasn't on the national call. And for those of you guys who attended the team retreat for Push to Purpose and Inspire Action a couple weekends ago, you guys have heard this. But I also know that as you're implementing the things that I taught you, there's questions along the way. So if you do have questions, put them in the chat. And then once I get done with the presentation, I'll go through and answer everything. All right, real quickly, why are we talking about Instagram? So if you're anything like me and most of the girls on my team, we mainly grow our business through Facebook, right? Like we mainly grow through Facebook. And about a month ago, I hired on Josh Coates as like a business coach, life coach, and I've been working with him one-on-one to rebrand myself and to grow my business. And so as we were going over the way that I work my business, he said, what are you using other than Facebook personal page to meet people? Because we know that this is a relationship business and you need to meet people in order to have challengers who will then become coaches on your team. And then you'll find the girls and guys that are going to run with you and really build your empire. And you guys are just like a team of just crazy go-getters, right? And I told him, he goes, so what else are you using? And I'm like, nothing. I mean, I have an Instagram account, but to be honest, the same people that I'm friends with on Instagram are the people I'm friends with on Facebook. And I really just go through and post on Instagram, probably just to use a filter, and I send it straight to Facebook. And then I never check Instagram again. I don't really care. I'm not present on that platform. And everybody that I'm friends with on Instagram, I really communicate with them through Facebook. So I'm not really using Instagram. And that's what I told him. And he's like, why? And Josh works with, top coaches in the business, right? So he's working with a lot of coaches. And he asked me, he's like, why, Andrea? Why are you only working through your Facebook personal page? And I had no good reason other than my lid was set low and I wasn't stepping out of my comfort zone. And that's it. My lid was set too low. And so he goes on to tell me a story about a coach that he was working with, a girl who became a coach about a year and a half ago. And she worked really hard to become a person to share her story and to share her journey on Instagram, right? And so she works really hard and she's very intentional for about a year to grow her network of people on Facebook and Instagram, okay? So Facebook and Instagram, she's very intentional. So she has at this point, let's just say she has 60,000 followers on Instagram, right? And so then there's this other girl who she's friends with on Instagram. And this girl has had an amazing transformation. She's got a great story and she's interested in coaching because she doesn't love her job and she follows other coaches and who share their coaching story or whatever. And she's like, wow, this life looks amazing. I would love to do this. So, and this girl has 50,000 followers on Instagram. So she already has a following of 50,000 people and she's not even a coach, right? Okay. So here's this girl and let's call her Jen, right? So here's Jen and she's got 50,000 followers, awesome transformation. She's interested in coaching. And then there's two coaches on Instagram. Let's just say there's me who has 1,000 followers on Instagram and I'm not really present there. And then there's this other coach who has 60,000 followers, right? Now, me and this other coach, we've been coaching. I mean, we've got the same belief in the business. We're both awesome people, both awesome leaders, right? But this girl has 50,000 or 60,000 followers, and I have 1,000, let's say, right? Who do you think the girl with 50,000 followers is going to go to? Is she going to come down to me who only has 1,000, or do you think she's going to step up and go to the girl who seems to have a bit more influence than she does, right? Of course, that's the law of influence. You're never going to come down. You're never going to attract people to you who have, they're not going to be attracted to you if they have greater influence than you. So of course, this girl, she goes to the coach who has 60,000 followers and is like, hey, I want to be a coach. And so she signs up as a coach, and within 6 months, she's a 2-star diamond. Why? Because she's already a person of influence. She already has 50,000 followers. So when she comes and she decides to do something, of course, she's gonna have people that want to do this with her because she's been building relationships. She's a person of influence. So when you look at really successful coaches and you think, gosh, how are they attracting such rock star coaches? Like, how are they attracting these people that want to build the business right away and they just run? And then you're looking at the coaches that you're attracting in your team and you're like, pulling. Come on, just finish coach basics. Come on, just do that. Well, the thing is that this girl, she's attracting a person of influence from the start. And that's what I want for you guys. In order to attract people of influence, then you need to become someone of influence, okay? And on social media, influence is viewed as engagement. It's viewed as, having followers, because that means that you've got value to give. You're interesting. People want to watch you. They want to be involved with you. So you need to become very intentional about growing your Instagram account. It doesn't just happen. Nobody just wakes up one day with 60,000 followers. It just doesn't work that way. If you get to that point, you're intentional about that. And so that's what I'm going to ask of you guys, to become intentional. And if you're like me and you're really like your main presence is on Facebook, I don't want you to think, oh man, I need to kind of get off Facebook a little bit and really start working on Instagram. It isn't an either or, it's an and. It's an and, right? And so you're going to start growing on both platforms. You're going to take the lid off. If you had a lid like me, and if you had a real comfort zone like I did on my Facebook personal page, I'm going to ask you to take that lid off, remove it, so you can connect with the right people and you can grow and you can help others and your team can grow too. All right, so I'm going to screen share because I do have a PowerPoint. All right, so let's see who I can see right now. Okay, let's see here. Megan. Okay, Megan Mulligan, I can see you. Can you see my screen, and does it say use your Instagram to grow your business? You can see it real big, okay, awesome. All right, guys, so here we go. Okay, so this is the part that I need you to have your phone out for, because this is going to be interactive, okay? Listen, we're going to go through some coaches that I'm familiar with. I want you to look at their Instagram accounts really quick, because I want to show you different people. I want to give you an idea, because I truly believe that success leaves clues. And not to say that,
it's my
Oh, Sherry, mute yourself. I can tell that's your California voice. Okay, but here's the thing. I truly believe that success leaves clues. And so I don't want you to compare yourself. I don't want you to think, oh, wow, that's awesome for them. I could never do that. I want you to look and see and get different ideas. Because here's the thing. Why recreate the wheel? I want you to see people who are in the grind right now, who are in the hustle right now, building their business, connecting with people, helping others. And then I want you to remember, as we look at their accounts, everyone was a beginner at some point. Everyone had to start somewhere at some point. They just made the decision to begin, to learn, to be consistent, and not quit. So why not you? So when we pull up these accounts and you're like, whoa, 60,000 or 70,000 followers, that would take forever. No, Why not you? Everyone has to start. So you're going to create a world that you love and attract the people who love the same things as you, and you build your empire and you build your team, and it'll be amazing. All right, so bring up Instagram. The first person we're going to look up is Brittany Powers. So bring her up. Okay, and for those of you guys who don't know, if you bring up Instagram and hit the little like glass, I don't even know, a magnifying glass, and then put it up top in the search and just search Brittany Powers, and her IG name is fitmom_fitbrit. So when you bring her up, I want you to quickly glance at her bio and look and see what's there. I want you to just look at her page. Does this look interesting to you? Are you drawn to this? She's got a whole bunch of different types of things. I can tell that she loves like awesome t-shirts, and she's clearly doing workouts, and she's a mom, and she's had a transformation. And I mean, I would look at her page and I would totally check it out. To me, I'm attracted to like this type of page. It looks fun. Whatever she's got going on, like, I would love to be friends with her. It looks cool. And you know what? She's unapologetic. Like, if you look, like, every day, she's taking a picture of herself drinking her Shakeology and, you know, in her workouts and things like that. But it's not the amateur way, you know, where someone, you know, I know, like, when I first started taking pictures with Shakeology, I'd hold up my Shakeology as I'm in the car, and I'd take my picture and say, drinking my healthiest meal of the day. And it was real amateur, and, you know, all new coaches do it that way. I want you to look at how she shares it. And, you know, there's apps, and we'll talk about that, and there's ways to look professional and interesting when you post your pictures, and not just like same old, same old. And again, you guys, I want you to remember, everyone starts somewhere, and you have to just learn. And it's a learning process, and you just kind of learn through trial and error. Okay, next person we're going to look up is one of my really good friends, Sarah Try. Her screen name is Sarah B. Try. Okay, so Sarah's a bit different. Like, when you look at her pictures, her pictures are way different from Brittany. Sarah's not, you know, she doesn't have kids. She's not a mom. Like, she's got her boyfriend, her and Adam. I mean, they're a power couple, and they travel a lot, and they're really, my sisters call Sarah granola. Like, she's real granola, you know, just natural, organic, into just yoga and things like that. But her page is very different from Brittany's, right? And again, I'm just trying to show you guys everybody's different. So you can look at Sarah. Okay, next one I want you guys to look at is Alexa Eats Clean. Alexa Eats Clean. That's her screen or handle. And then it's Alexa Luckenbach. So when you bring her up, and you guys can see Alexa, she's different too. You know, I mean, she's got an awesome transformation story. She's younger. She's not a mom either, but I know that she's married. But she shares her journey, and you know, she looks happy, and she shares just different things about her life. But she's unapologetic that she's a coach, and she puts it out there, but not in like an annoying type of way. She just shares her life with awesome pictures, and I mean, I'd love to be her friend. Like, when I look at this, and she gets BarkBox, and she preps her meals, and just, you know, she's lost 80 pounds. Like, goodness, that's insane. Okay, let's skip Angie Bellamere, and let's go to Coach Tulin. So we're going to go to Coach Tulin. The only reason I'm skipping is because I talked a little longer in the beginning. I want to make sure I get you guys off on time. All right, so Coach Tulin. So look at her. She's also lost 85 pounds, and she's a plus size coach. You know, she's unapologetic. The reason I like her is because so many people think, oh, you got to look a certain way to be a coach. You got to have this amazing figure and this and that. And no, it's more about the journey. And you guys, she has over 14,000 people following her, and the courage that it took for her to, you know, share her journey. And I know now she's working with Beachbody, creating a plus size line for Beachbody clothes, because all their clothes are, you know, super tiny or whatever. So because she was unapologetic and so courageous to share her journey and where she was and where she is, You know, she attracts people. One of the things I want you to notice is if you scroll down her page, she's kind of she was working with a pattern for a little bit. If you notice, she has quotes right down the middle column, and the quotes all have black writing with a white backdrop. I don't know if you guys see that. Looks like she was doing it for a while and then quit. If you like that, if you like the way that the pattern looks, you know, recreate that. This is your page. This is your thing. So some people do patterns, some don't. Okay, let's see. Let's skip Mama Fit Chick, and let's just go to Rob Insanity for the guys on the call. Okay, so Rob is a coach. He's lost 100 pounds. And this is, you know, a guy that works Instagram. He's got over 11,000 people following him. He loves Jesus. He calls himself a fat kid turned fit kid. And he shares his journey. And obviously this is a bit different than the way the girls do. It's not so much fashion and things like that, but this is his journey. And you can tell he was kind of working with a pattern too, going straight down the middle with, it looks like Bible verses. Like his black with the red must have always sharing a Bible verse, which is kind of cool. But anyways, these are just some people that I wanted you guys to see, just different people who are all working their business on Instagram. All right, so we're going to move on. We can put our phones down for a second. Okay, so when you guys were looking at everybody's pages, you noticed their bio, right? And so everybody's bio is different. Don't reinvent the wheel. Look at coaches who are working Instagram now and see how they did it, and then tweak it and make it your own. Make it your own. And because again, like success leaves clues. One of the things that I recommend is make sure you have your email in your bio so people can reach you. And then also when you edit your bio, they give you a spot to put your website. And what I would suggest, if you don't have a website, put your Facebook link in there so people can connect with you on Facebook. But bios are really important because people look at that. Like they look and see kind of at a quick glance what you're about. All right. So the thing with Instagram is it's all about the pictures, and they need to pop. They need to be good. They need to draw your eyes. Lighting matters. You know, lighting, the what's in the picture, all of that matters. Remember, I want you guys to think about, you're going to go from amateur to pro, right? So you really got to pay attention to what you're posting, and don't just post, you know, anything. And you need to post within your brand. So a lot of you guys who've been around, you understand about brands. Some of you guys, maybe you're newer coaches and you really don't know too much about brand yet, and you'll get to that. But in a nutshell, you want to post within, you know, certain topics, specific topics that are unique to you, right? Because there's over 400,000 Beachbody coaches. So why is someone going to be attracted to you instead of another coach? It's going to be because of who you are, and they can relate to you. They know, like, and trust you. They feel connected to you. So that's why it's very important that when you post, you're strategic with how you post. So here's an example. For me, I stick within posts that have to do with being a mom. So any type of mom life post. Faith is a big thing for me. So anything that has to do with faith. Curly girls. So all three daughters have curly hair, and honestly, like, that's a budget line of itself, hair products and like taking care of it. So I talk about that. And then my workouts, fitness, Shakeology, and then also just being a mompreneur. Like I've kind of taken that, and I really am grasping onto that, just that whole mom boss life, and just, you know, what that looks like. So that's what I post within. It's very rare that I post outside of something that has to do with those topics, right? So you need to be aware of what your brand is and what you're posting in between. And then just remember that people want to see your face. When you look at other coaches who are successful right now, when you look at their pages on Facebook, when you look at their Instagram pictures, it's them. you see their face. We know what Lindsay Matway looks like. We know her story because she puts it out there all the time, very intentionally. She doesn't hide behind quotes or stock photos or anything like that. Courageously, unapologetically puts herself out there. And so if there's a quote that you love, that you would have a picture and then put, the quote on that picture, things like that. People want to see you. They want to see your eyes. They want to connect to you more so than stock photos and, just things that aren't you. So just remember that. Okay, some of the apps that I use real quick is WordSwag. That's a big one. Photofy. I'm really loving Photofy. And then Layout. But there's so many apps, you guys. Like, there's so many picture apps. I mean, if you have a smartphone, you can honestly become a professional when the way you edit your pictures and stuff. All right, moving on. Okay, hashtags. So this is important, you guys. So you can use 30 hashtags per picture. And you normally put the hashtags in the first comment. So what you do is you'd upload the picture and have your little saying or whatever you're going to put. And then in that first comment is when is what you're going to do your hashtags. Now, what you're going to do is create a list of hashtags and store them in your phone, in your notes, because that's going to be the best way to save time. So then that's all you have to do is copy and paste. So you might have a list of hashtags that you use for any time you post a picture of your child. Or you might have a list of hashtags, like, I don't know if Amy's on this call, but Amy's a coach and she's into yoga, she's into running, she's into traveling. So whenever she posts a picture that has to do with yoga, she has her list of hashtags, boom, she just copies and pastes them and puts them on there. It's important that you use the same hashtags because that's how you're going to kind of build a following. And you want to spend some time thinking about your hashtags because you don't want to use ones that are oversaturated, but you don't want to use ones that are crazy that no one would ever think of using. So for those of you guys who don't know, when you're in Instagram, if you go under that little magnifying glass, you can search hashtags. You can search trending hashtags. And so you want to stick with something that maybe doesn't have like 2 million hashtags in it, but maybe 7 or 10 or 20,000 or whatever, it's 800 or something. Because what happens is the longer when you use a hashtag, so, all right, let's think about this. Let's say I want to search the hashtag mom boss. I would go in to use the little magnifying glass and I'd do hashtag mom boss. And everyone that has recently hashtag mom boss, their pictures would show up. So what I'd do is I'd go through there and I'd like their pictures, like all these pictures. And then if a specific picture catches my eye and it's cool and it looks like it's a normal person that I could connect with, I would comment on that picture. Because what happens when somebody comments on your picture that you don't know? Don't you click on their name to go look and see what they're about? I know I do. And so when you take that time to search certain hashtags and like and comment, it's people will come to your page back and see like what you're about and everything. So create your list of hashtags. Even if you did 25 hashtags and then you saved a couple, what you can do is on Facebook, like sometimes you might post something, a picture, and then a week later somebody comments on it and it gets pushed into the news feed, then all of a sudden more people are liking and commenting it, even though you posted it a week ago. The same thing happens on Instagram. So if you go in and re-hashtag something, and let's say, I posted it a week ago, but it was really a cool pic. So in the comments, I might go hashtag fit mom or something like that. Then my picture will go into the news feed for fit mom. And I'm kind of just like resurrecting it. So that's something to know. But yeah, you're going to use hashtags and comment and like and just kind of meet people and build that way. So hashtags are really important. That's the way people really navigate and search specifically Instagram for things that they want. All right. Did you guys know you can direct message people on Instagram? It is true. So if you don't know about this, when you pull up your Instagram, if you're at the home screen, In the upper right corner, there's like a little white tray. Okay, so if you're in the home screen of Instagram, up in the upper right corner, there's a little tray. If you click on that tray, you can send somebody a private message. And so just like you private message people on Facebook, you're going to private message people on Instagram. And this is a script that one of my coaches, Hope, who I don't know, she's probably on the call, but this is what she does. So when she posts a picture of her workout and she gets all these people liking it, she DMs them and she says, "Thank you so much for liking my picture. It's always so nice to have someone support my health and fitness journey. Are you on a health journey too?" Boom. The thing about Instagram is the conversation moves a lot quicker than it does on Facebook because people are mainly on Instagram for inspiration. And the fit world on Instagram, it's appropriate to talk about. It's way quicker than what Facebook is. So you can get to the point a lot faster on Instagram and people aren't offended. They're not like, whoa, what's going on? Like, they're there for a reason. They're searching the hashtag FitMom and liking your picture for a specific reason. And so to send that direct message like that, it starts conversations. And remember, all these people on Instagram, they're real people. They're real people just like the girls and guys on Facebook. And so start conversations and start to get to know people. The other thing is that, stay away from like Beachbody hashtags. You don't want to use those because that's just going to attract Beachbody coaches, right? And so you want to use stuff that you can relate to that's going to attract people, but not so much like coaches. And if you get a flood of like other fitness, people like maybe It Works or Thrives people, don't get annoyed or whatever. Just understand they're just trying to meet people just like you are. And so it's okay if you're getting too many of those, like you probably need to maybe tweak your hashtags or something. And so maybe you can start attracting more. But this script is really, really awesome. It's only 3 sentences, but it's effective, you guys. It starts conversations, and that's what you want. All right, law of influence. I already told you about this, just the following and the followers. The thing about it is, like on Instagram, the amount of followers you have, it does show your influence. It shows that people, you're interesting. People have a reason to follow you. And that's really, that's why I want you guys to be intentional. So let's talk about how do you gain followers. Okay, so what I want you to do, hold on, I'm going to stop sharing. I want you to pull your phone out again, and there's an app called Crowdfire, CROWDFIRE, okay? It looks like this. Hold on, let me find mine. I don't even know if you guys can see me right now. Can you guys see me? Tony, okay. It's this one right here because I can't even see myself. It's like the little orange Crowdfire. I want you to download that. Oh, okay, wait. Megan says, make sure after you DM on a pic. Hold on. Let me see what Megan says here. Okay, Megan says, make sure after you DM a comment on a pic, you let them know. Okay, yeah, good. Thank you. Good point. So Megan's saying, so after you direct message someone, in the comments, tag them in the comments and say, hey, Andrea Sims 12, I just sent you a direct message or something, say that. So then, because a lot of people don't know about that feature. Awesome point. Okay, and Danny says color/photo. So that must be another app, color/photo. All right, let's get back to Crowdfire. Okay, so what Crowdfire is it's an app that connects into your Instagram, and it allows you to follow people of similar interests, okay? So what you would do is you download Crowdfire and you hook it up into your Instagram, okay? And then I really wish I could see myself. I don't know why I can't see myself right now. But and then what you're going to do is, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you're going to click on the 3 little lines up in the left corner, and you're going to hit the option that says copy followers. Hey, listen, another thing is that if I'm going too fast or you guys need more direction on this, just go to YouTube and just Google like Crowdfire. I'm sure there's tons of videos on how to do it. But okay, so what you're gonna do is once you download this to your phone, you're gonna sign it into your Instagram. You're gonna hit this little 3-line thing, and then you're gonna copy followers. And what I do is, so I want to find other women who are, you know, like me. That's the type of followers I want on Instagram. I want women who are like me. That's who I connect with. So I'm gonna follow an account that would have women who are like me. So like I go to the French Twist salon. It's a local salon in Toledo. Most of the time it's like women going to the salon or whatever. So, and they have an Instagram account. So I would do the French Twist, right? And I would bring it up and I would see everybody that follows the French Twist. And what you do is you just follow. You can follow all these girls. So I look at them and I say, okay, it looks like you have an American name. Okay, yeah, you look normal, you're a girl. You can even look at their profile at you if you want, and then boom, follow up to, I think they changed it from 120 to 60, but you can follow 60 people an hour. And what happens is when you follow these people, there's gonna be 10 to 15 people that will follow you back. And that's how you're going to do that. So imagine if you're gaining 15 new followers, you know, every other hour because you take 2 minutes to do this. That's how you intentionally build your followers, okay? And so you would search and you'd follow these people and then they're going to follow you back. But they're real people. They're people you're targeting. They're people that you'll connect with. And so, you know, on Facebook, to be able to add, you know, let's just say you add 50 people a day. You could never do that on Facebook unless you're forking out big bucks for Facebook ads on your like page. But on Instagram, you can. And they're not fake people, and they're people you're specifically targeting. And that is how, in a year's time, you can go from a couple hundred followers to 10,000 followers if you intentionally do this. I know that when I did it the first 2 weeks, I went from like 700 followers to 1,600 followers. And I probably, you know, what I would do is I had my daughter do it at night. So my almost 13-year-old, I would pay her with little $10 iTunes cards, but she'd sit here and she would work my Crowdfire and work my Instagram because I know that I need to grow my following there. Does this make sense? Okay. So that is how you're going to intentionally grow your followers. And so imagine if you're adding followers and then you're really consistent and you're there and you're being intentional about how you're posting. Your engagement's going to go up on Instagram. You're going to start having conversations. It's going to become a whole new way to meet people. And how awesome would that be to have so many conversations going on 2 different platforms, 2 totally different groups of people, especially for those who are hesitant to really grow on Facebook because it's all family and friends or whatever. Go and just expand into this world too and really be intentional about growing there. That's lifting your lid. Right? And then when you start doing that, you're going to start meeting people on Instagram and then they'll duplicate you. They'll do what you're doing. And that's what really successful coaches do. It's just about meeting new people. Okay, so that is what I have for you guys on Instagram. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody who's maybe been implementing what they learned at the retreat and now you have a question, unmute yourself and go ahead and just ask, and I'll try my best to answer it. And if not, that's okay too, because I know we're 4 minutes over.
Hey, Andrea, this is Sheila. Do you recommend people connect to your personal Facebook page or to your like page on Facebook?
I think that it's where you're present. So if you have a like page, but you're not really working the like page very much, then you'll want to connect them to your personal. But here's the thing, like you should be posting about 4 to 5 times a day on Instagram. If you're sending every single post the same thing to your Facebook, then you're not giving people a different way to get to know you. So you're going to have to, wherever you send them, you got to be working that page. And I mean, you can have some of the same stuff, but you also have to have different stuff. And so what this means is for those of you guys who are serious about this business and growing, part of your work hours need to be spent creatively. This just doesn't happen. Like you have to have some time for creativity. That may mean that you're, going through Pinterest and getting ideas, or going through other people's pages and getting ideas. It may mean that you're going to take some time designing some pictures, personal development, so you're always able to add value. But it's definitely going to add creativity hour or whatever, minutes or whatever it's going to be. But yeah, so that's my suggestion. Okay. All right, let's see. Marcia says, I tend to get a lot of other Beachbody coaches like my IG posts that I don't know. Should I just ignore them? I mean, I wouldn't send them a DM, but if they comment on your stuff, I'd for sure comment back. And that's okay. If you're getting a lot of Beachbody coaches, you might want to check whatever hashtags you're using. And again, it's okay. I mean, I get a lot of Beachbody coaches and It Works people that like my stuff too. I don't send them direct messages though, but for sure, you can interact and stuff. Hi, Natalie. Okay, go ahead.
Hi. Okay, I had a question about, you said, because I've never heard of this Crowdfire. And so when you click to follow people, I assume then your numbers are going to go up where you're following a ton of people. Do you eventually then filter through, okay, I'm going to unfollow them now so that you keep that down?
So Crowdfire will also show you who you're following that is not following you back. So that's really cool. So what I'll do is in the morning time, in the beginning of the day, I really follow. And then the evening time is when I unfollow whoever hasn't followed me back. Because you're right, you need to have more followers than what you're following. And so, yeah, it's definitely a balance, but the Crowdfire app lets you really track that and say, okay, these are the people who are not following you. And then you're going to just go ahead and unfollow them.
Perfect. Okay.
Yep. Okay, good question. Sorry for telling you guys that. Okay, Renee has a question. Go ahead.
That's me. You talked about the salon that you looked up in Crowdfire. Can you give examples of maybe some other, things that we would look up in Crowdfire?
Yeah. So you can look up people. So if you have friends who are not Beachbody coaches, so I have mom friends who our kids go to the same school together, and I'm really good friends with her. I know she's local. I know. So I'll go through her friends and add that way. I was talking to one of my coaches today about this, and her husband is a police officer. So I was like, follow Thin Blue Line or Wives Who Back the Badge and things like that. I go through shops and things like that. So how sometimes there's these shops, these Etsy shops that will make cool shirts and things. Women are normally liking that stuff, so I'll search that. Proverbs 31, Lisa Turkus, people like this that I would have connection to. That's what I do. So you can search people, you can search store. You can really search anything and just find out who's following these, and then you just follow those people. Yep. Okay. All right. Any more questions before we go? So here's the thing I want you to remember. If you decide to start this, and if you decide to add this social media funnel, right, to your business, it isn't going to happen overnight, and it is going to take intentionality. You're going to have to be intentional, but it's going to be worth it. Because when you look at these other coaches with 10,000, 14,000 followers, they started and they didn't quit, and they kept going, and they learned, and they gave this a piece of their plate. And that's what I'm going to ask you guys to do, because that you need to meet more people other than just your Facebook personal page. It's really, really important. And so you've got to add this. You've got to lift your lid if you haven't yet. And if you have a team, if you start this, I guarantee they'll start it too. They just will. And so this is really important. So start it. Even if you do Crowdfire 4 times a day, it literally will take you 1 minute to do. You're going to be adding about 40 to 50 new people a day. That's huge, right? So stay consistent, because in a year from now, we can be on a team call together, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I've grown my following to 12,000 people. I'm signing, 10 coaches a month. I've got challenge groups that are filled, and I guarantee it'll probably be because you chose to do both of these platforms, but you really put intentional work into Instagram. All right. So I really suggest that. Okay. For the unfollow part, I do it once a week and start from the bottom. Okay. So Megan, Megan's pretty, like, you're good. And like, I know you just went to like she's in Hawaii and you went to a big training on Instagram with like the top coaches in Hawaii and stuff. So you're familiar with that. Any tips that you have, post on our team page or whatever. And for sure, like, yeah. So, all right, guys, I want to thank you so much for being on this call. If I can help you at all, again, I'm only like 5 steps ahead of you on this Instagram stuff, but I'm sharing what I know because it's working. But yeah, be intentional and just really go for this and step out of your comfort zone. I promise it'll be so worth it. All right, everybody have a great night. And yes, you're welcome. And I will see you all soon. Bye.